African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of April 10, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Belgorod direction inflicted losses on formations of a mechanized, airborne assault brigade, a coastal defense brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and two territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Prokhody, Turya, Krasnopolye, Ugroedy, and Miropolskoye in the Sumy region. That the enemy's losses amounted to 105 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 2 cars, and 2 field artillery pieces. Units of the West Group of Forces improved their position along the front line. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Makiivka in the Luhansk People's Republic, Dvyrchanskoye in the Kharkov region, Yampol and Kharkov in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost more than 250 servicemen, 3 vehicles, and an artillery piece. An ammunition depot was destroyed. The units of the Southern Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They defeated the formations of 2 mechanized, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Zarya, Kleb and Byk, Grigorovka, and Tarasovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 330 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, 23 cars, 3 field artillery guns, and an electronic warfare station. A field ammunition depot was destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions, inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a Marine brigade, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kodlino, Udaknoye, Elizavetovka, Petrovskoye, Kotlyarovka, Novosergivka, and Bogdanovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to 430 servicemen, 5 armored combat vehicles, 6 cars, and 2 artillery pieces. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense, inflicting losses on the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized, airborne assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Podobnoye, Bogodar, Shevchenko, and Otradnoye of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to 170 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 8 cars, and 2 field artillery pieces, including a 155mm self-propelled artillery unit Caesar made in France. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions, and defeated the formations of 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Novopavlovka, Blagovshchenskoye, and Kamenskoye in the Zaporizhia region. Up to 90 servicemen, 3 armored combat vehicles, 7 cars, an artillery piece, 2 electronic warfare stations, and an ammunition depot were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the groups of troops of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation inflicted damage on military airfield infrastructure facilities, missile and artillery weapons depots, ammunition and military equipment, as well as concentrations of manpower, equipment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and foreign mercenaries in 144 districts. Air defense systems shot down 9 JDAM guided aerial bombs and a U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, as well as 200 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 660 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 50,812 unmanned aerial vehicles, 601 anti-aircraft missile system, 22,752 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,534 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 23,434 field artillery pieces and mortars, 33,876 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.